Thank you. Well, most of you are Swedish, but I will still speak in English, mostly so Daniel can understand, because we don't want him to fluctuate away. So, I'm going to do the speech about the heart in this bio section. So, what is it with the heart? You talk about it in sports all the time. You hear sentences like, bring your heart, bring your passion. You have to put your heart into it. What does that mean? What are we saying? Evander Holyfield said this: it's not about the size of a man, but the size of his heart that matters. Well, I don't think he meant physically the size. So what did he mean? Well, he's talking about the ultimate power, the feeling you invest in what you want to do. So how many times in sports have you heard that if you just want it enough, you can do it? And what is that? They're saying the ultimate power is motivation. Well, what is motivation? I've been in sports my entire life. I studied to be a psychologist because I'm really, really interested in this. What is motivation, really? What is it that really, really drives us? Well, I'm coming to the conclusion that I would say the ultimate power is decision. And what is that then? What is decision? Because in every moment, I think we will make three really important decisions. We have to decide what we should focus on. I definitely agree with Daniel. When you're not focused, your brain goes in and out. But then again, you can alter your focus. You can change it. I don't think anybody was thinking about Anders' right leg before he mentioned it. But when he mentioned it, your focus switched. So a really interesting question is, where do you put your focus when you make decisions? Your past, your future? Where is it? It's also, what meaning do you give that focus? Because the meaning of a focus in every moment creates feelings. And it's in our feelings we find the resources. Because motivation, usually you say if you just want it, you find the resources. But mostly when you talk about dreams, goals, you talk about resources like money, time, things like that. But I think the ultimate resource is your feelings. When you're really passionate about something, then you can come a little longer, and that's where your feelings come in the picture. But are you going to let your feelings decide what you want to do? Because feelings are funny. Sometimes you're scared. And if you would listen to your feelings in the moment, you would say, well, I back off here. So what is it that makes us go on? Well, I would say there's two universal patterns, I would say. And the one is, which state am I in right now, emotionally and physically? Where am I? It will affect how you look upon your feelings. If you feel healthy, in a positive state in the brain, you will probably have a different response to your feelings. But it's also how you perceive the world. What is your core values? What do you think is really, really important in life? What glasses do you have on? Some talk about it as positive attitudes and so on in sports. It's so important to have positive attitudes. Yeah, well, it is. But, of course, life is not always positive. So, this is the patterns what we make decisions based on. But what are we deciding about? Because with the feelings we have, what is it that makes us want to do things? What are the needs we have as human persons, everyone? I will talk about some needs, and I will point them out in a sport environment. But they are the same if you're a sport person, if you're working in a media circus, or if you're at the farm. But my example will be from the sport, because that's where I've been most of my career. And one need we have in our life is certainty. We need some sort of certainties in our lives. It's a basic human need. What does that mean? Well, for me, in sport, it meant that I stayed in Malmö FF for 16 seasons. I got a lot of different offers around the world, but for me, certainty and knowing Malmö FF was really, really important. But of course, you also need uncertainty. We do. We like surprises, right? Somebody surprises you and you go, oh, if you didn't like the surprise, you call it problem. But we need it. We need surprises and we need uncertainties in our life. For me, I really like this quote because that's all about when you play. You never know what's going to happen. So even if I stayed in the same club for a long, long time, every game gave me uncertainty. It wouldn't be fun to play if you know you go out there and win every game. It would take away the uncertainty, and I would probably quit playing. We also need to feel... Oh, sorry, I was looking for the wrong. We also need to feel significant. We need to feel unique, special. Somewhere we need an arena that's saying, you're unique, you're significant. As a goalkeeper, if you make a mistake during a game, most of the time, not all the time, they will end up being a goal. So the significance of being a goalkeeper is kind of clear. But as Anders said today, if you read with Twitters, the easiest way to reach significance is with violence. Of course, if you threaten to blow up a building, people will listen to you. The basic human needs is not put there with the value. Everybody will find a way to do all these needs. The 4 needs I already talked about. And the 4th is love and belonging. You need to feel love and belonging somewhere. For me, of course, in a team sport, I have a team to celebrate with. I have a team to feel succeeded. I feel success. I feel like I succeed, and I can share it. And that is a great experience to have. But even greater is to have it when you don't succeed, when you feel like you're failing. If you have love and belonging, then you're okay. And even here, with love and belonging, most people don't go for love, because that's scary. But for belonging, yeah, you can have friends, you can have a dog, you can have a cat, you can go out walking in the woods. Most people at least have that, something where they can feel like they belong, even if they're a little bit scared about loving. These 4 needs, most people find a way to fulfill. And like I said before, it doesn't have to be what most of us would say a good way to fulfill them, but they will be fulfilled. These other 2 needs is more about spirituality, I would say. But they're the most important one, I think. It's growth And by growth, I mean we all need to develop. We need to learn new things. We need to feel like we're competent in something. And that competence could be, I'm a beginner, but I learn. Something is happening with me all the time. And if you get this, for example here, we're standing and we've been driving with the bus for 45 minutes in Stockholm. Everywhere, the business windows, everywhere, windows were open, people in suits and ties were waving outside the window. We had 30,000 people coming to greet us. Of course, that gives a special feeling. And throughout my career, of course, I've been successful. But it's like people are standing with a bucket pouring positive feedback to me, saying, oh, you're good, you're doing a great job, you're such a good athlete, you're such a good goalkeeper. And of course, I also got with the national team, the world team, Olympics, everything. And, well, that could be great. I could have achieved my goals. Oh, best goalkeeper in the world. Check. Well, well, many people will say that's fulfillment in many ways, to actually achieve the goals you set as a kid. For me, it's not. For me, the growth is the foundation of contribution. If you don't grow, you can't give. Well, at least it's harder. So for me, life is not about me, it's about we. And it's been so easy for me to give. And I have friends around me, and they're going to talk about, oh, so you're going to talk about motivation, and what are you going to talk about? And I say, well, that's not so hard for me. I want to say, and I want to share my experience about this, because I think this is important. For me, the contribution is why I did it. And it's been stronger and stronger the more I've been growing. I really believe that sports has the power to change the world. And Mandela is agreeing with me. But this is really something I believe in. And for 10 years now, I've been working on building a society for men and women with the unions, creating CBAs, creating values for mostly women, but also men around the world. And that's really given me fulfillment. And I think if you can feel fulfillment sometimes in your life, then you will have a motivation. That is the motivation for most people. But fulfillment is tricky because you have to really experience it to feel it. Not until you really experience it, you understand the gratitude it gives to you. And this is so different from all of us. Where can you get your fulfillment? The why. That's the important questions. It's not going to be the same as it is for me. And for me, winning wasn't everything. It wasn't even the thing. I'm a competition human. I want to win in every moment. But my core values are more important. And you work with communication. For me, I would like that you take this with you. What are the focus on? Your clients, the people you interview, the people that come to the library and want books. What are their focus? What meaning does it give? What are their feelings? And of course, which state are they in? Which financial state of a business in you're going to make a deal with? But also what are their working conditions? How is it? How does it feel? What do you think? If you can find out this, how do we perceive the world? What are the long-term goals? Well, if you can do that, this is what I wanted you to bring. When you truly understand and appreciate, because it's also about appreciation of other people's drives, then you can change the world. But you can also make a great deal. And for me, that great deal is win-win. You will be very satisfied with what you perceived or what you gave the client, but the client will, of course, also be very, very happy. So it's just a quick study in what I've learned throughout my career. And I really followed my heart. And I would like you to follow yours, but you have to find out what your drives are. And ask yourself these questions in every moment. Why do I do the decisions I do? But before I leave, I also want to go back to the biological state, so you're a little bit in that state. It could also be like this. Thank you.
Thank you so much.